And the other matter we discussed? You're still thinking, I take it?
What other matter? Did she say she wanted to doink? Look, motherfucker, you took my son from me. Give me a new one. Well, hello, 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 hello. Uh, this is something I did not think would be happening. I'll just try to keep this brief because I know that I tend to ramble for 16 hours, which, for reasons I'll never understand, David says he enjoys. Although, I I have this suspicion that David secretly hates me, and he's too nice to say so. Like when I go on my big long rants, like he's like fast forwards through it, and like like I think that like he despises me like on a biblical level, and he's just too nice to say so.
Wicka 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 record scratch freeze frame. Okay, so quick bit of post commentary that I've tried recording 3 times and ends up being like 5 minutes long, and I don't know why I can't do quick post commentary and not ramble. I said first off, I said that I would try to keep the intro brief. It ends up being like 15 minutes long, and honestly, did you really expect anything else? Um, Second, this I didn't know anything about this DLC going into it, and it turns out that it's a roguelite, um, kind of in the vein of Hades or something. So it's a lot of doing the exact same maps over and over again, um, and then getting little upgrades, and some upgrades are for just that run, and then some can be like permanent, which I like that. I have an appreciation for the old school kind of rogue games, but um, one metaphor I use at one point is that I enjoy bashing my face into a brick wall a million times until it eventually breaks, but it's a lot less enjoyable if after each attempt I come back and someone has replaced it with a fresh brick wall. Um, so there's a lot of points of me just like running through a map, picking up some resources and not saying anything, and I'll be cutting those bits out. Um, I do a decent job of keeping the commentary going, and I'm also not. I don't know if this is a wise decision, but I'm not going to cut out any combat just because even though it might get repetitive, this is a very combat focused DLC, which disappointed me because I wanted more story, but they found a way to kind of weave the story in. I really think they took a lot of inspiration from Hades with the way they do it. They weave a lot of story in with like conversations and like when you go back to like the starting area and like just anyway. So there will be jump cuts galore. Um, but anyway, I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Anyway, I'm gonna say I did not know this existed. Um, I haven't really followed much gaming news. I don't know how long before it happened that it was announced. I think it was like at the Game Awards or something. Um, I don't have money for games right now. Uh, I'm in the process of uh, hopefully being in a position where that will be different, but uh, for now, so I saw that this came out and I saw people talking about it. I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome that they did a DLC. It literally, like, I don't. It's been a long time since I recorded my main gameplay of this, so I don't know if like this is something I ever mentioned, but it was something that was on my mind, and I would be surprised if I never mentioned it. But and obviously I wouldn't have mentioned it till the end because I wouldn't have known. But it always bothered me that out of all the Norse settings, you never got to visit Valhalla. Um, you know, and you may say, well, like a lot of people, I actually saw people saying like, well, it wouldn't make sense because you go there when you're dead. How many fucking times did Kratos go to fucking Hades, like, or the underworld or whatever? I'm not enough of an expert on Greek mythology. Is the Greek underworld called Hades, or is it just called the underworld? Because I've seen times where it's called Hades, but I know Hades is also the name of the king of the underworld. So I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna jump right into this. Obviously, it's been like a year since I've played. I did think of playing a little bit to refresh myself on the settings, on like the gameplay and stuff. But I figure they probably realize there are people that haven't played in a while, so there might be some refreshers. If I find myself getting my ass beat and not knowing what I'm doing, I'll pause the recording and I'll play some New Game Plus or whatever. And also, I should address that this, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this is the first, like, Let's Play type thing that I've recorded since my Yeti broke. Or, well, didn't break, but, well, it did break because I smashed it. Um, just getting frustration out. I kind of went Office Space on it. I had the thing for like over 10 years, and the USB port just got so loose. Even using brand new USB plugs, it got so loose. And the problem with microphones is I don't know why they're designed this way. I'm sure there's probably a technical explanation for it, but if it loses connection for even a second, then just the rest of the recording will be static. And the first time that ever happened to me was with my Snowball, and I was recording Until Dawn, and like the last 4 episodes were just static because I hadn't been checking my recordings. And David, before you fucking open your fat ginger mouth, no, that's not why I don't like Until Dawn. I was even gonna make like a whole like compilation with the sound muted of the gameplay at the end and my feelings on the game, but I got lazy. And then I upgraded to a Yeti, and I had that for like 10 years, and so yeah. But I dug through everything I had to find microphones. One option would be the microphone on my earbuds, which are somewhat decent. And like, as far as quality goes, I'm not too worried since I know that pretty much the only person that's going to watch this is David. And I could record this on a tin can tied to a string, and he would still watch it. Which obviously he hasn't watched any of these yet because he hasn't played the game, but I'm assuming that after he plays it, he's gonna watch them. But I dug out my old PlayStation 3 camera. And interestingly, the PS2 camera, I still had my PS2 camera, the little PS2i that served no real purpose. It had like a tech demo and like a couple of games that utilized it. And then the PS3i, which again served no real purpose, had some tech demos and a couple of games that utilized it. But I had them. And interestingly, when you plug in the PS3 camera, it says device not recognized, but I found out that if you go into the settings and go to audio, to microphone and click it, it'll actually let you select it as an audio device, which just proves how full of shit they are. A mini rant. I want to say fuck you, Sony. Just a big fuck you to Sony. I have done not extensive, but I have done research in this. I've watched a few videos of people that are more technically inclined than I am, and I want to say that the fact that the only camera that works on the PS4 is the official camera is bullshit, and it's done on purpose. Including support for other webcams would not be difficult. It would not be expensive. Yeah, there might be problems every now and then. There might be a camera that like doesn't work right, but like it's like that with any device. Like it's like that with headsets. Um, I have tons of different like, you know, I've had headsets over the years, and I've had a few like there's other types of devices that like depending on which one it might not work, and they leave that up to the community, and they let you, you know, you can research and find out if it's going to work. But the fact of the matter is, what it comes down to is to make it so that the PlayStation camera, like other webcams, won't work, has to be done on purpose. That's not something that they have to like. They had to go out of their way to make that happen. And obviously they did it to sell their camera. And that is, in my opinion, extremely scummy behavior. And honestly, I think it should be illegal. I think forcing expensive proprietary technology should be illegal. Sony, I hope you realize that the whole reason that your PlayStation Vita failed is that you forced people to use proprietary memory cards that cost like 10 times the amount of the same storage space on a micro SD card. And yes, I realize that not using proprietary memory cards on the PSP helped lead to hacking and piracy, but everything is going to get pirated. Every console in existence, it is going to get hacked. It's going to happen. The Vita's hacked. I own a fucking hacked Vita. I'm not, like, for legal reasons, I'm not admitting to using it for piracy or anything. I use it for other things, but it's not that difficult. And ironically, the truly ironic part is that they claim they used a proprietary memory card to help against hacking, when in truth, the original way that the PSP was first hacked, what had nothing to do with the memory card. A little history lesson for you. This will be fun. The original way that the PSP was hacked is that the like whenever a game comes out, there's like a signature in it, like some piece of code in it that's unique to each game, and it's encrypted. And some shitty demo had its unencrypted signature leaked. Now, how it got leaked, I don't know. I don't know if it was ever revealed, but what's funny about it is it made it so that you could use it to digitally sign games and play them. But the funny thing was, the game had to be under the size of the demo, and the demo was like 400 megabytes, so it couldn't be anything bigger than that. And it's funny that there was actually people that like got around that by doing things like, and again, for legal reasons, this is anecdotal things that I read about, not anything that I actually did. But like, for instance, the God of War games that were on PSP, which, by the way, the 2 God of War games that were on PSP were actually really good. Like, I know like people like write off the spin-offs, but the God of War games on PSP were actually pretty fucking good. What they did was they split the data in half,
and what in one copy of the game had the first half of the game, and you would get to a certain point and you would save your game, and then you'd load up the other copy that had the second half of the game in the data, and then load your game and keep playing. And they did that for a few games. Obviously not every game could do that. Games were like especially like depending on how the files are formatted, like with like package sizes. Like sometimes if you ever looked in like the data, like the folders of games, sometimes like half the game is like in like one file, one little package file or something. So obviously like you wouldn't be able to do it with everything. But anyway, that's my 15-minute rant after I said that I would keep that short. Anyway. Metric experience after. Yep. Combat focused adventure that rewards overcoming challenge. You are encouraged to change difficulties during experience to find an idea of enjoyment. Hold on. Okay, I played on Give Me No Mercy last time, I believe. I think. I can't remember. I really can't remember. But I'll pick the second to last. I don't know what you mean by rewards. Can you like bring your like the rewards you get with you to? Okay, whatever. Alright, I know literally nothing about this DLC. I'm slightly disappointed that it said it's combat focused. I was hoping it'd be more story focused, but that's fine. If they wanted to just release like I'm hoping this isn't just a bunch of combat arenas with like one or two cutscenes to string together. That would kind of piss me off.
You are certain you remember nothing of this place?
Oh, nothing that would help us. Tell me, brother, why exactly are we doing this?
I do not know.
Oh, that's comforting.
Okay, I can't turn.
Look, I know you expect more from the smartest man alive, but wouldn't always keep me in the dark about this place. Which is why I urged you to seek Freya's guidance. Repeatedly.
She does not seem eager to speak with me.
Quite the opposite, brother. But you tell yourself whatever you need to.
Huh. I wonder how long after, or like if they'll address this, I wonder how long after the end of the game this takes place, because it is canon that Freya and Kratos go out adventuring after the events, because there's some stuff that you can't even do until after the game is over, and they do go out, and I can't imagine that they would make that stuff non-canon. So I wonder if something happened. Like they had conversations and chats and stuff, and like 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 they were kind of like in a state where like, you know, you could tell that she would never like 100% forgive him for what he did, but like she recognized that he was more good than bad, or could be more than good than bad.
I see a shore ahead. Black sand.
Exactly as described in the invitation. We finally bloody made it.
So we received an invitation. I'm not just pointing out. I don't know how you could tell from that distance that the sand was black. It was foggy.
Very, very, very foggy. Super duper foggy.
Something is happening.
Back to basics then.
Okay, okay. All right, that makes sense. They'd want to like I can imagine it'd be pretty hard to have the I imagine it'd be pretty hard to have the I I cannot attack. Oh, I don't know why I was pressing square. Actually, I do know why. Like the last 4 games that I played, square was attack. I just got done with I just got done finishing up a few trophies for last minute trophies for Arkham Knight, so I could delete it. And before that, I've been playing Yakuza Ishin, and Square is attacking that. So
Well,
yeah.
that felt unsettling. Like we plunged into a dream.
I feel can be found in the codex under lessons. Runic attacks. Yeah, I know my runic attacks. I almost never use the spear. I've read that if you know how to use it, like if you upgrade it properly and use the right stuff, it's pretty OP. But I just never really got into it that much. Yeah, I not to be a dick, but this game isn't like God of or this game isn't God of War levels of complex. God of War isn't God of War levels of complex. Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck? This game isn't Devil May Cry levels of complex. But yeah, I can see why they'd wanna put you at a basic level. I'm torn about that. Like on one hand, I want to say I can see that it would be hard to balance um the difficulty for every single possible build that could have come from the game. But then again, they balanced the game itself for every possible build. But maybe they wanted to create a more focused experience. And one thing I'm curious about, after I finish this, I'm actually going to go back and check out my well, actually, I wouldn't be able to, because after I beat the game, I did a few main quests, like the ultimate Valkyrie battle and stuff, and made a few clips, and then did a clip of the epilogue. And then I did the rest of my just adventuring and 100%ing on my own. So I don't know if I'd be able to find that in my clips. But I am curious if what I was wearing during that is from my save file, and it is exactly what I was wearing. That'd be kind of neat. Oh, and I forgot to mention that when I saw this announced, I was like, "Oh, that's cool," but I was a little disappointed because I didn't have any money. And then I found out it was fucking free, which I think more companies should do that. If their game sells gangbusters, like I get shareholders are gonna sharehold, but if your game is as big as some games. I think a free story DLC as like a thank you to the players is like
Doesn't seem anyone's here to welcome
it
us.
builds some like goodwill, you know? And obviously with something like No Man's Sky they kinda had to do that, but like even to the shareholders, I would say you could argue that like doing that would like, you know, build up the company image because honestly, there's a lot of companies where their games are floundering and a lot of it has to do with their business practices.
I don't suppose you'll take that as our cue to turn around and leave?
No.
Beata Sialfor, Simum Hautum,
To be one's own master.
master thyself.
A more poetic way of putting it, but yes.
It would be like the ultimate troll move to like release this and like have that happen and then him just turn around and be like, okay, and then just the DLC ends. That'd be such a maybe like a April Fool's thing, and then like right after have it like really start. I don't know. I remember reading something once that made me laugh that said that and you won't understand this if you haven't seen the movies, but uh, if Marvel had stopped making movies after Infinity War, that would have been the most gangster move in movie history. Like if you think of how that movie ended. So, master thyself just means open the door. It's locked, but master yourself means open the door.
Something is wrong. I feel weaker.
Valhalla may not appreciate our breaking in.
Why did this happen? Okay. That was weird. My game paused, went in the menu. Uh, went to this menu. And then immediately moved down here. And then started taking screenshots. Like over and over, just kept taking screenshots. So I don't know if my controller's fucking up. I'm scared it is. It is a second-hand controller. You know, I don't think this is the layout from... Is this the layout from... I mean, I have all my skills. But is this right here the... What was this? This might be stuff that I collect for the DLC. What I'm saying is... the weird thing is something like this happened earlier when I was like just in the PlayStation menu where it moved all the way to the left and the bottom and it wouldn't like respond to my controls. And this is a second-hand controller because I had to get a new one a while back. And it's worked fine. I've put 80 hours into Yakuza Ishin, or Like a Dragon Ishin, without any problems. But one thing that scares me is last night I was playing Batman Arkham Knight, finishing up a few trophies. Nothing difficult. I just had to do the get a certain amount of stars as each character trophies that I had been putting off, so I could finish it up and delete the game, so I'd have enough room to re-download this. And I noticed that my L2 button was a little loose, so I took the controller apart because I know that I've been taking controllers apart since I was little. I've been taking electronics apart since I was little, and the little spring was a little loose, so I kind of popped it back into place, and everything seemed to work. But I'm afraid that I may have like smudged something or got a piece of dirt or done something. My only other guess is that I had it plugged in. I think both times I had it plugged into the charger, and I had the charger plugged into the PlayStation. And I think when you have the charger plugged directly into the PlayStation, it stops communicating over Bluetooth and just communicates through the charger cable. And like all of these type C, type whatever cables that the PS4 uses, that I hate these cables. It's built-in obsolescence. They're designed to break. These cables are designed to break, and I will fight to the death anyone who says otherwise. They are made loose on purpose. They're designed to become loose on purpose. The other type that newer phones use, where it's like a oval, those are a lot better. And I'm thinking maybe since it was loose, and it was maybe if it was communicating over the wire, it may have been fucking up some inputs. I don't know. But I've still got it on the charger, but I've got the charger plugged into a phone charger, which, just bit of a tidbit, if you didn't know, you can charge your PS4 controller with a phone charger, like plugged into a wall. It works just fine. Not every adapter works. I think some have like different amperages, so not every adapter that I've ever used works, but it'll still charge it and you can play. So if that's the issue, which I pray it is, then that will fix that issue. But anyway, I went through this door and my game paused and I couldn't do anything. So I unplugged it and I kept fucking with it, and eventually I was able to exit the game. So all I know is that when I go through this door, some people are going to attack me, and then my game paused.
Something is wrong. I feel weaker.
Valhalla may not appreciate our breaking in. What's your left?
Still getting used to the controls. I'm trying to use I don't, my shield will not open. Well, that's lovely.
I expected to encounter here. Curious. Seems it's the way of this place to offer you a choice.
Axe Whirlwind drastically increased the power of the whirlwind sweep, and While wielding blades, stun grabbing an enemy grants a gift of strength. Okay, can I see what the whirlwind sweep and the whirlwind throw is, so I can see if it's something that I ever even use? Oh, that's a pause attack. I hate pause attacks. Yeah, I'm getting this. For this attempt. Can we back up? What do you mean for this attempt? Oh. Stack list increase. Chest symbols. Each chest has a floating symbol that indicates the type of... Stat, weapon, runic, special abilities imbued to... So I can't use my... Oh, is this like... Okay, I'm looking at this fleeting echoes thing. A temporary resource that can be spent at tablets of endeavor to improve your chance of survival. I wonder if that's like a Okay. I was gonna say I wonder if that's like a roguelite thing where like I can make each attempt like a little bit, because I like roguelikes. Like I played like, you know, old like NetHack rogue type games back in the day, but eventually I kind of got sick of it. Like I even played like tons of what was that, Dungeons of Dreadmore or whatever it was, the one where it was like all like like the character was all animated, and people threw a hissy fit because the character was male. And they were like, dude, it literally every single thing is hand animated. We can't afford to do this. And then they once the game sold well enough, they added a female character and said, look, it was a budget thing. We couldn't afford to pay the animators to do full animations for two characters. Now that we've sold some copies, we did it. But anyway, but I definitely prefer games like Hades, where yeah, it's still a roguelike, but like you can get like little permanent upgrades. I like bashing my head into a brick wall a million times in hopes that eventually I'll break through. But I do like when each attempt, when I come back to the wall for my next attempt, they haven't replaced it with a brand new brick wall. You get what I'm saying?
At least you're not going in completely hobbled.
Can't even use my shield. I wonder if there's a glyph that will let me use my shield.
Oh dear. What happens now, I wonder?
I don't fucking know. You load your game?
We're back outside.
You marched into Valhalla without even talking to us first?
Nice to see you too, milady.
Hi.
Personal matter. That would not take you from your duties.
You breached Valhalla. Consider it worth my time. This entrance is secret. Who told you of this place?
Nailed to our door 3 days ago.
Kratos of Sparta, you are hereby invited to a challenge. Face the past, face the future. Master Valhalla, master thyself. And then directions here, no signature.
Who else knows of this entrance?
Odin and us. It's likely a trap.
You're thinking of going back in.
Odin is dead,
Would you join me?
so
Oh, don't let me intrude on your personal matter. Besides, I can't. Unlike the two of you, I've never died.
What happens if I return inside?
Well, that depends on you. Valhalla draws from the memories of those who enter. In there, you're an open book.
is it gonna touch on things from the original series? Because I've always wished that
How did you
it would
even get past the gate?
touch a little more on it.
With his bare hands.
He forced it open.
There's an easier way if you insist on going back in. Come.
Sigrun, maybe later we can continue with that one conversation.
For once, Mimir. I think you've said enough.
Aye. Right then.
And the other matter we discussed? You're still thinking, I take it? Is that what this is? Guess I'll let you think.
What other matter? Did she say she wanted to doink? Look, motherfucker, you took my son from me. Give me a new one.
All right, gentlemen. Let's send you in properly this time. First, Valhalla requires you to perform the ritual of selection. General, the gate will only accept you if you complete the ritual of selection.
No, it'll What's down here?
Brother, a new way to bargain with Valhalla itself. How can you resist investing in yourself?
Upgrades unlocked here are permanent. But I don't have... So I'm guessing that resource that I found before, like, I'll find tablets, like inside. What is the deal here? Are there Norse aliens or something? Bitch, I see you watching me. I'm guessing, like, inside I'll find ones that can give me, like, temporary upgrades. And then, like, if I get that, thing, I'll be able to... Okay, Guardian Shield. What's the shield that I like? I always just... I don't know if it's because it's the one you start with and I got used to it, but I always just liked the original shield. Like a tiny part of it was like the fact that it was from your wife and everything. But like, I don't know, like the parry right before getting hit. I like that. Stonewall shields, like in any game, even like Souls games and stuff. I've never liked like oversized shields. It's never been my style. Shield punch, nah. Shield, eh. Smaller parry window, but stronger special counterattacks. Eh. I don't think that I have the Fury, Valor, Wrath. I remember just liking the original.
Now,
Like, not
let my
really.
sisters speak to you of Valhalla's rules and its values.
Okay. Hey, sis.
What do you know of this place?
Valhalla seeks to foster wholeness and balance within those who enter. To fully master yourself, you can't rely on only your most familiar tactics.
I use the tactics appropriate to the situation.
Of course, but varying your approach will demonstrate to Valhalla the full mastery of your abilities, and Valhalla will reward such demonstrations. Be sure to come back and see me as you progress.
New mastery tasks. Oh, I'll get rewards for doing these? Okay, so I'll get, like, so choosing different runic attacks. I mean, it is weird that pretty much the only thing that it's wanting me to do is to try out all the runic attacks. But maybe there will be more stuff unlocked later.
What have you to say?
The challenge of Valhalla is not merely about overcoming obstacles. It's about the way you overcome them, how you demonstrate mastery of your own powers. We can guide you down a path, but Valhalla will be the judge of your progress.
Yeah.
Return to me when you've met a goal, and we will observe the effects. Step up to the gate when you're ready.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would take off their masks. Like, if those are masks. Just because I kind of want to see their faces. Just kind of curious what they look like. Like, I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, the design is really cool, and, like, it's, like, different for, like, they went through the effort of making each one look different, which I can't remember if in the original game there was much variance in the Valkyries. I can't remember. But, like, it'd be cool to, like, because, like, I don't know enough about Norse mythology to know if these are based on any real Valkyries, and if those real Valkyries have any personality. Yeah, I was having a thought the other day. Not the other day, but, like, I don't know, months ago. I was thinking about, like,
Air, Gunnar, with me.
Okay. I was thinking about, You're not gonna join in, Freya? No Leifa from you? Come on, Freya, can a brother get a Leifa?
Without suffering the penalty of breaching.
Thank you, Sigmund.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with Freya. She wouldn't Leifa you no matter what. You know? You do all this stuff and she won't Leifa you. Anyway. I was thinking a while back about, like, how the old games were, and, like, you know, I talk a lot about video games and things like fan service and sexualization and stuff and like that, and I think I've made my opinion pretty clear over the years, and that opinion is that I love fan service. I just think it should stay where it belongs. Like, I'm gonna name 3 video games that have excessive fan service in it. 2 of them I think are perfectly fine. 1 of them I really don't think it belongs. Bayonetta, Dead or Alive, and Persona 5. I don't think that the amount of fan service in Persona 5 really should be there. A little bit, maybe. But, like, even I, the big, massive pervert that I am, think that Ann's knockdown position is basically her with her ass up in the air. Is kind of weird. But like I was thinking about how like things were in the old games, and like it's kind of weird because like it's easy to look back on those games and think that like it was very objectifying to women, and in a way it was, but one aspect of that I don't think people bring up a lot, and it's the same thing that I don't think people acknowledge when they talk about games like The Witcher, is that almost like a lot of the encounters that you have, first off, they're consensual. I don't think I don't think there was ever any encounters, like sexual encounters in those games that weren't consensual. One could argue that being who he is, they were afraid to say no or something, but and a lot of the encounters like were initiated by the women. And it's the same in The Witcher. Almost all the encounters, it's the women that they're like, fucking Geralt, I want your fucking Witcher dick. And it's like, and I think it's a hard balance to strike because there are people that want that stuff just eradicated. Any form of female sexual expression just eradicated because it's objectifying. Like there are people that will say that it's not okay to have that stuff in games because since the character can't consent to it, it's like they're not fucking real. The characters that you cast as Nazis in Wolfenstein, they didn't consent to be cast as Nazis. Maybe they wanted to make chocolate. Maybe they wanted to start their little German chocolate factory. But no, you cast them as Nazis. They didn't consent to that. But what I was thinking is like this game, I think struck like a really good balance where like they didn't make the women like unrealistically like beautiful, like which there's no problem with a little bit of unrealism if it fits the game, like something like Dragon's Crown. You know, if you bitch about the arts, the women in that, you're a fucking idiot because like there's a guy in that game who has a pectoral muscle that has its own zip code, so it's like stop being a hypocrite. But like I think this game struck a good balance of having like women that like aren't really objectified, but then at the same time you have a character like Sif who is like a fucking bombshell, and she's the kind of character that if this were an old God of War game, every character would look like her. But you do that and you show, you can show that like, you know, yes, women that have that, you know, certain types of bodies do exist, and it's okay for them, you know, the way she dresses, she enjoys showing a little skin, but also she's like not like a bimbo. And I think that's a very difficult thing to do. Is I think one of the hardest things to do is write a character that is sexually expressive, that is like open with her sexuality, but not write it in like a objectifying way. I think out of all the like I would even say it's harder than writing like gay characters. Because with that, all you got to do is just like acknowledge the fact that they're gay, and if there's any romance, have it be a gay romance, and then beyond that, just have them be a character. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of poorly written gay characters that are tokens where like the fact that they're gay or trans or whatever is just their entire character, that's their entire personality, it's the entirety of who they are. And if you took that away, they literally wouldn't be a character, and that's a little test. If you ever want to test to find out if your diverse character is well written, my advice to you is to imagine that character is a straight white male, and then ask yourself, is that character still interesting? And if your answer is no, then you fucked up. because that means that the only interesting thing that you create about that character is the fact that they're diverse. And I know tons of LGBTQ people and people of color and women and whatnot, and that none of that stuff defines who they are. But anyway, I don't know why I went off on this ramble, but that is something that I thought about a while back. Is that like Sif is? I like that they put Sif in the game because like I don't like games that just refuse to acknowledge that anything above an A cup exists. Like that, I've played games where there's plenty of women in the game, and not one of them has anything above like an A cup. And I'm not, and I know that sounds like I'm saying I want to see big boobies, and I mean I do, but like the whole point of diversity is diversity. And I really do think this game handled it well by having women of different, body types. I mean, I know that this might be a little weird to talk about since I think she's like kind of. I don't know exactly how old she is, but Thrud, Thor's daughter, she's very, I guess what you would call thick. Very curvaceous, and also kind of short, which is actually my type. Like I like literally short, thick women. Like they even have a term for it. They call them short stacks. That's literally my type. But like I think they did a good job in this game of having a lot of body diversity rather than just the way certain games do it, games that I won't name, where they just go out of their way to make every single woman like ugly. And I'm not making that up. There's literally developers of certain games that have said that they go out of their way to make every single female character unattractive in order to fight sexism or something. And that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I just wanted to say that I think this game did it so well by having like a lot of body diversity. I mean, if you look at Freya, she is really like not what you would necessarily like. That character probably would not have been in an old God of War game. And if she was, she would have been like a side character or a villain or anything. These women would have been wearing roughly 67% less clothing. And as much as I enjoyed those games, I am more than happy to admit that like they went overboard with that. And that's what I was trying to talk about, like how like there are games where fan service fits the game. And it's like it enhances the game. There are games where it's like, what are you fucking expecting? Let's enjoy the fan service. Let's have some fucking fun. And then there are games where it's like, this just doesn't really belong. And I think there's room for that. I've mentioned this before, but I think there is room in this world, and I know people will agree. I know this would piss off so many people, but my dream is a world where Bayonetta and Ellie from The Last of Us can walk hand in hand, and Ellie would probably start hitting on Bayonetta. Probably. Just saying. I don't know. Ellie seems like a sub to me. I'm just gonna say she seems like a sub. Bayonetta is a dom. I think that would work. I think that relationship would work. Uh, anyway,